I want to play you the clip of PK Subban, his latest one. He's been the news star. If anybody in the media benefited from this Four Nations thing more than PK Subban, I don't know who did. PK, he's a natural broadcaster. He comes across a little bit like he's the Black Don Cherry. I was totally unfamiliar with his work as a broadcaster. He spent some time here with the Predators and all that, so I know who PK Subban is, but I was unfamiliar with him as a media personality. Holy cow, what a star he's made himself. He's probably can do some broadcasting outside of hockey now, based on maybe he's the Charles Barkley of hockey. But anyway, here's PK yesterday. I believe this is on First Take, where he really went after, without calling names, but he went after LeBron James and NBA culture as opposed to NHL culture. Let's play the clip.
What are you playing for? Like, if you're really about it, if you're really about sports, then you're about two things: your teammates and the fans. And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. When you do not show up to play, you're letting your teammates down. When you do not show up to play, you're letting the fans down that are paying you 40, 50, 60 million. I don't care if you're getting 300 million. Congratulations. But these people in here are paying $2,500 a ticket, $5,000, that are blue-collared, hard-working people. If you don't get your head wrapped around that, you shouldn't be in pro sports. Because how are we going to grow? How do we expect you to be an example? Well, guess what? You don't want to be? You are one. You're on the biggest stage. You just said it. They make the most money. You're an example. You got to show up. You got to take that on. I'm sick and tired of making athletes greats, all-time greats, that aren't the best examples. Those are the people that we want our kids to follow, that we want athletes to follow. That helps us in our game. Stephen A., you want athletes to be educated on this and understand this. They got to understand the importance of showing up to the All-Star game and being on the court. And playing banged up sometimes. And playing injured maybe at times. Thank you. And participating, because here's the thing. Because you're making 100, 200, 300 million, you should be out there banged up. You should be. That's why we pay you, is to max out. We talk about greatness and it being the longevity of somebody's career. I don't care if you play 50 years. I want your best 10. I want you on the court dominating. I want you to go all out. I want Michael Jordan. I want Kobe. That's what I want in every sport. That's the guy that I follow. If you're a different version than that, you don't get my respect. That's me, and that's my angle. That's who I am. But I think we got to be very careful on that.
Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, so why not start stacking some today? The Fold app gives you Bitcoin rewards when you buy gift cards at Amazon, Uber, DoorDash, and Home Depot. Over 50 national merchants. Go to foldapp.com/Whitlock right now. New users get a Bitcoin bonus with their first gift card purchase. Start earning Bitcoin rewards today. Fold app. So he said what everybody thinks, and he said it on a platform where the NBA, they're in business with the NBA. And he said it on a platform where everybody could see and hear exactly what he was saying and exactly who he was going after, LeBron James. And that, could he have done that if he were a white hockey player? Would he be allowed, even on First Take? Would Stephen A. have a different reaction if that was Mark Messier rather than PK Subban?
Yeah, or you get like a Jeremy Roenick on there. They can't say that stuff. And I'm sure Ryan Clark is listening to this and like, whoa, I might have to change my tune a little bit. I might have to change my style a little bit. And 100%, PK Subban was on an absolute heater this last 3 or 4 days. The NHL, sports in general, and PK Subban are probably the biggest winners of the Four Nation face-off. It's incredible what he's been able to do. And he says fans are expecting more out of players now. Nobody's saying if you got a broken foot or a major tear that you need to go out and play an exhibition game. He's saying, no, LeBron, I don't put you in the same category as MJ or even Kobe because you got a boo-boo. You said I got a boo-boo, I'm going to sit out, I'm going to load manage the All-Star game. Fans are paying their hard-earned money and a lot of money to get into these stadiums and arenas. and they expect more. And I think hopefully this is, like you said, a referendum for the NBA, the NFL, and all these other leagues, because Emily Kaplan, the ringside reporter for ESPN, I remember specifically, she said, I think it was in the first period, there are multiple players on both teams that are suffering through injuries. And a lot of times in hockey, you don't even hear about what those injuries are. Like Matthew Tkachuk, he went through the Stanley Cup final, I think with like a broken sternum. I think that's what Emily Kaplan brought up. That's hockey players. They're a different breed. And people are expecting more out of their athletes now because of this.
I think McAvoy may have just ended his season this year trying to win this Four Nations deal. These guys laid it on the line. I hats off to PK Subban, and I got to give ESPN credit for allowing PK to do what he's done over the past week. Have to tip my hat to them. And probably, maybe I don't even have to tip my hat, because maybe ESPN is trying to put pressure on the NBA, and they wanted PK to do this. They're spending billions of dollars on the NBA. The players are load managing. They're ruining games, sitting out nationally televised games. They're damaging the product. So once again, I'll give ESPN credit, but they're also doing what's in their best interest. They have lost control of these players. And the players are driving the league, and the players don't seem to care, and they don't show up to work as often as they should. And ESPN is paying the price. TNT is paying the price. When we try to understand why this conversation is being allowed to be had, it's because TNT and everybody else that's in bed with the NBA, they're fed up. They need the players showing up and competing on a regular. It's hurting their television partners. It's hurting the brand of the entire sport, which hurts ESPN, hurts TNT, hurts everybody involved in the game of basketball. And they've had it. Hats off to PK Subban. I hope we get to a place where at ESPN and on some of these other platforms where the white athletes can say exactly what they think as well. Because there's a lot of white sports fans who feel the exact same way. They feel like they can't say what PK said. They'll get accused of racism or whatever and get shamed for it. But hats off to PK Subban. Hats off to ESPN. Hats off. Charles Barkley last night on TNT was wearing a USA hockey jersey. Hats off to TNT for allowing that. He's basically pointing people, hey, there's a great hockey match. You don't have to be stuck watching us. There's a great hockey match on. Anyway, hats off to everybody involved. John, last thing I want to do is tap.
Real quick, Jason,
go ahead.
Is what we're seeing from coaches, GMs, owners, and commissioners is gentle parenting. That's not God's way. That's not the way you're going to see these sports thrive, especially the NBA. They're going to be like, oh, Joel Embiid, like, we don't really like you sitting out. No, you got to discipline these guys. Fans got to ask for more. What we're seeing is gentle parenting.
If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.